Hello, my name is Yamile Franco and I will be going over the field guideline questions. To start with, I want to talk about how I went over 4 videos, 2nd, 5th, 7th, and 9th grade. And in part B, I want to talk about how the students were. In video number 1, the students worked as a group of 4 for the lesson and each person was given a job to do. So one was a dictionary and one was the presenter and so on. They were all engaged and I could tell because they would volunteer to answer questions, and when they would volunteer, they would answer in complete sentences. That shows that they're used to getting told to answer in complete sentences. In video number 2, the students were also very much engaged with the topic of society, and I believe this because a student named Teika even mentions to her partner how it makes her upset the way society changed the view of perfection, and it shows that there's very strong feelings towards the lesson. And there's also never a time that the teacher has to remind them to talk with the partners. They right away know what to do, and he actually needs to give them extra time to finish and wrap up their thoughts. In video number 3, the students feel comfortable enough to discuss answers with the students. For example, they could say, "I disagree with you because," and not start an argument or anything, which I found it interesting because since they're 2nd graders, usually they will tend to argue. But for this class, they feel comfortable enough to come to an agreement. I also seem engaged because they sing songs like "It's Time for Math," and when it's time to read questions, they read it louder than usual altogether. In video number 4, the students were a little distracted with the other materials instead of the questions, so they would be playing with the materials given to them to answer the question like little cubes, and there were multiple times the teacher had to ask them to please stop and listen to her directions. Now to go into the teachers and staffs. In video number 1, his name is Jim Knights, and he's more firm than other teachers. So the reason I believe this is because when he asks to answer a question for the students, he asks them to talk in a complete sentence rather than just saying "because" and their answer. And then in video number 2, the teacher uses elements in students' lives to teach his lesson. He uses ads and magazines covers to get to his points and relate to the topic. And the teacher's mentor also mentions how he used a Kanye West lyrics the day before. And since Kanye West is a very popular rapper, it shows also how he wants to relate the topic to the students' lives more. In video number 3, the teacher talks to the students like if they're friends. So for example, instead of saying, "How can we double check this?" she said, "I have to admit something. I am not feeling confident that it is not the right answer. How can I know for sure?" And she also has a station where they could go for extra help if needed to have one-on-one conversations. Lastly, in video number 4, Miss Noonan is a teacher who has good control and patient. And I know this because instead of yelling at the students for not paying attention and playing with the cube, she simply continues talking, and while talking, she removes the cube out of their hand. And now to go over my reflection, part C, on why I want to teach. Instead of reading it, I'm going to summarize it. So basically, I want to teach to impact the students' lives in both helping them learn and helping them have someone there. And I want to be a teacher to impact both the future generations and students' lives. Working with children will be exciting, seeing the way each year they will be different, as well as seeing them graduate later on in life. The schedule as well as benefits are just a plus for me. I went to Fresno State to get a bachelor for liberal studies for the reason that I want to affect the students' lives in a positive way, not for the money. If I wanted the money, I would have been getting a degree and a doctor or something. I also talk about how the way I got my mindset changed from "I will never learn English and I will always be behind" to "if they can, why can't I?" from a single teacher is the exact moment I want to experience when I become a teacher and let them find themselves. Even if they're kindergartens, I know they could have an aha moment that will make teaching so much better. And that's basically all summarized, and thank you so much for listening.